Interested in a magic training method that costs less than 5k per hour, but can get you up to 35,000 experience per hour AFK? Stick around and find out. In today's video, we're going to cover the new method for AFK training for magic using salamanders. It's a very uncommonly used weapon, and the ammunition is dirt cheap. Currently, most people go with splashing as an AFK training method for magic, costing anywhere between like 4,800 GP per hour up into really expensive amounts like 400k per hour as people use up higher spells. But this training method has double the experience rates when compared to splashing strike spells and a quarter of the cost. I'm talking about using salamanders. Salamanders come in 4 varieties. The first one is technically a swamp lizard that requires 30 attack, 30 ranged, and 30 magic to use. Orange salamanders are the next category up. They require 50 attack, 50 ranged, 50 mage. Red salamanders, 60 attack, 60 range, 60 mage. And black salamanders require 70 attack, 70 range, and 70 mage. Each category requires a different type of ammo. Swamp lizards require Guam tar. Orange salamanders require Marantil tar. Red salamanders require Terramin tar. And black salamanders require Harlander tar. As of making this video, each tar costs 1 GP apiece, with the exception of Harlander tar, which costs up to 4. But still, that is dramatically cheaper than most other methods. Let's break down a few things about the weapons. The weapon has 3 attack styles. One for strength, one for magic, and one for range. The strength training method is Scorch. It's a 5-tick attack speed, which means you can attack 20 times in a minute and 1,200 times in an hour. That means you're going to spend about 1,200 GP in an hour using the weapon. That's on both the strength training style, which is Scorch, and on the magic training style, which is Blaze. The range training style, that's actually a 4-tick attack speed, which means you can use 1,500 per hour, which is still only 1,500 GP for the first 3 types of salamanders. Black salamanders use Harlander tar instead though, and that's about 4 GP apiece, so quadruple the cost, but still 4,800 GP an hour is next to nothing. So for gear, you really only need the swamp lizard itself, or the orange or red or black salamander, whatever salamander you're going to use, the associated tar, given the amount of time you plan on spending there, and whatever gear that you have that boosts the attack style you're going to use. Since most people are going to be looking at this as a magic training method, you can go with some basic mage gear. During my testing, I used Elite Void, which I know is going to be outside the range of what most people are going to have at this level. But I used Elite Void, an Occult Necklace, I used Eternal Boots, and a Mage Arena 2 cape. So if you're using gear that's lower than that, and don't have 99 magic, you're going to expect slightly reduced rates. The max hits for each weapon are listed in the wiki. That's assuming unmodified stats, so if you don't have any gear that boosts the relevant type of skill for it, you can expect reduced rates. As a side note, unlike other range training methods, using this method will recoup 0 ammunition if you have Ava's device on, because it's not technically ammunition, it's fire coming from the lizards for some reason. So some good spots to try this method at, you can do something with sand crabs. Sand crabs are a really common enemy that most people that are looking to AFK train stats know about. In order to have access to sand crabs, you need access to Korend, and subsequently the area south of Presidius House. So in order to get to Korend, you need to complete the Client of Korend quest. Optionally, if you complete the Depths of Despair quest, you'll have access to the Crabclaw Cave, which is just south of the Woodcutting Guild, along the coast. There's a spot in the Crabclaw Cave just in the southeast corner of the first room that has quite a few crabs at it, so it's one of the best places to AFK for this. If you've already done a bunch of quests and want to boost your experience rates even more, you can head over to Nightmare Zone. There's a couple bosses I'd recommend for this. Trapped Soul, which comes from the Ascent of Arceus quest, Count Draenor, which comes from the Vampire Slayer quest, Sand Snake, which comes from Depths of Despair, the Kendall, which is from Mountain Daughter, and Khazard Warlord, which is from Tree Gnome Village. Optionally, if you want more points per hour, you can go with King Roald, me, Nazdra'dul, Jesus, Skeletal Hellhound, Tree Spirit, Bouncer, and Black Demon. Those are the bosses that only use melee attacks that have decently low to no magic resistance. So you can basically AFK there with a ton of extra points per hour. With just the bosses that I mentioned in the first section, I was able to get about 100k points per hour there, and that's assuming that you're also using overloads and absorption potions. So keep that in mind when you're checking this out. And there we have it, folks. A cheap and efficient AFK training method that you can do with next to no attention. If you want to pay even less attention, go with the Nightmare Zone method. I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any comments or tips to improve it for everybody else, leave them in the comments below. And if you could, leave it a like if you like what you saw. If you want to see some more cool tips and tricks, check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I've included a recent video about margin checking, so if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get plenty more. Appreciate your time and hope you guys have a great day.